Okay, let's get right into it. We're talking about a really critical situation that's developing at lightning speed, the standoff between the US and Iran. This is a major flashpoint with huge global implications. So right now, we're going to break down exactly what's happening and, just as importantly, how we got to this incredibly dangerous moment. And look, the stakes here, they just couldn't be higher. I mean, one analysis puts it this starkly. The world is on the edge of a possible US-Iran war. And let's be clear, that's not just some kind of clickbaity exaggeration. No, it's a reflection of the raw, intense tension in the region. This isn't just some distant dispute happening somewhere else. This is something that should concern the entire globe.
All right, so first things first, let's look at the immediate situation on the ground. We're talking about a real flashpoint in the Gulf, a region that is absolutely on high alert right now.
Okay, so here's the breakdown of what's happening at this very moment. First, the U.S. has already deployed the USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group to the region. But, and this is a big but, reports are now surfacing that a second carrier, the USS George H.W. Bush, might be on its way too. Now, this massive military move is happening while there's all this complex major unrest going on inside Iran, and it's being met with some really violent crackdowns. So what's the response? Well, Tehran is firing back with strong warnings of stronger retaliation, while on the other side, U.S. officials are making it crystal clear that all military options remain on the table.
2. Just think about that number for a second. Why is it so significant? Well, because according to military experts, having two American carrier strike groups operating near a potential adversary at the same time, that is considered pretty much unprecedented. Yeah, this is not some routine deployment. This is a massive, deliberate show of force that signals a really, really serious escalation.
So you might be wondering, what exactly is a carrier strike group? It's so important to get the scale of this. We're not talking about just one big ship. Think of it more like an entire floating fortress. You've got the aircraft carrier itself, right? Packed with fighter jets. And then it's surrounded by a whole fleet of destroyers and cruisers acting as its bodyguards. The whole shebang is designed to project immense military power anywhere in the world. And now, there might be two of them.
You know, a show of force this big, it just doesn't come out of nowhere. It doesn't happen in a vacuum. So that begs the question, right? How in the world did we get here? To really understand what's happening now, we have to rewind a bit and look at the roots of this crisis. This tension, it's definitely not new. I mean, for decades, there's been this deep international concern about Iran's nuclear program. It created this long, simmering kind of Cold War, full of sanctions and suspicion. But the real turning point, the moment this all arguably went from cold to hot, that was 2025. That's when coordinated U.S. and Israeli strikes hit Iranian nuclear facilities. That crossed a critical line, from just diplomatic pressure to actual direct military action. That one single event just dramatically escalated the whole conflict. And what we're seeing today, this military deployment, it's the direct, high-stakes result of all those years of rising tension. So all of that brings us to the central puzzle right now. What is the strategy here? What's the thinking behind this massive military presence? Well, let's dive into the two main interpretations experts are debating.
And analysts are really split on this. On one side, you've got this school of thought that says this is a kind of high-stakes diplomatic deterrent. The idea is simple. You show overwhelming force to pressure Iran, to force them to the negotiating table, and hopefully to de-escalate. But then there's the other side, a much more worrying interpretation, that this is actually a dangerous provocation. The fear here is that when you have so much military hardware, so many frayed nerves, all in one tiny area, the risk of one simple miscalculation, just one mistake, could be the thing that accidentally triggers a full-blown war.
And you better believe that risk is incredibly real, because Iran's position on this, it's firm. They have said repeatedly and very publicly that they will defend themselves if they're attacked. So this isn't a one-sided thing at all. You have both sides signaling their resolve, which is exactly what makes this whole situation so precarious. It's truly balanced on a knife's edge.
So when you boil it all down, we're looking at two potential paths forward, right? Diplomacy or conflict. And the stakes, as we've been saying, couldn't be higher. And that's not just for the region, but really for the entire world.
So why should this matter to you, no matter where you live? It's because what happens next in the Gulf, well, it's not going to stay in the Gulf. The outcome of this standoff, whether it's war or diplomacy, could fundamentally shape global stability for years to come. It could literally redraw international alliances and send massive shockwaves through the world's economies for, well, for years, maybe even decades.
And all of this leaves us with the ultimate, very unsettling question. Will war break out, or will diplomacy somehow, against all odds, manage to prevail? Right now, the whole world is watching, and the answer, well, it remains dangerously uncertain. The most pressing question isn't just what will happen, but maybe what should happen next.